Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a very long time since I've done a video. Had a lot of stuff going on in the real world between moving and remodeling. It's been a little crazy over here. But today we're going to get back in the saddle with a new series that I hope you'll enjoy. And for those of you that are new here, this is Fly to the Past, where we just fly historical aircraft and try to either replicate history or talk a little bit about the characteristics of those aircraft. And if you're returning, thank you for returning, and thank you for being subscribed. I really appreciate you guys. And I also appreciate the ones that leave comments and appreciate reading those. So with that out of the way, what we're doing today is starting a new series. And this is going to be called Does It STOL? So this is going to be episode 1 of a little mini series I thought I'd put together. And the objective is going to be to put some historical aircraft to their paces in perhaps some situations they may not have found themselves in challenging airports. So if you're not familiar, STOL stands for Short Takeoff and Landing. And there are various competitions that happen around the United States and various other places that people put their aircraft to the test and try to take off and land in as short distance as possible. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of that today. Today we're in the Stearman PT-17, and this is the DC Designs version. And we're currently sitting at Mahoney Creek. This is the U.S. Forest Service airstrip out here in Idaho. And we're going to go up to Lower Loon Creek. Lower Loon's a very challenging strip to get into. It's one of my favorite testing areas for short takeoff and landings. So without further ado, let's climb aboard and see what we can do in a Stearman. So here we are inside of our Stearman. Pretty basic aircraft. And if you're not familiar with the Stearman, it was a training aircraft during World War II. It's powered by a Continental R670 with 220 horsepower. Let's get our fuel turned on here. Got a mixture to rich, cracker throttle just a smidge. You'll notice that we're up pretty high. We're at about 4,600 feet, so that makes this even more challenging. Get our primer going here. Battery can come on over here. I should just go ahead and turn that off. Don't need that. And that is all we need to build this thing. It's been a minute since I've flown the Stearman. Get that rolling over, and we'll hit the mags. There we go. Pretty straightforward aircraft. So the Stearman's not really known for its STOL characteristics. It's a trainer aircraft. And you'll notice we don't have any flaps, so it's gonna be very interesting trying to get this into Lower Loon Creek. Let's check our flight control surfaces here. Free and correct in the correct sense. So what I'm going to do, we don't have a lot of wind today. I'm going to go actually taxi down to this end and take off, because Lower Loon Creek is over this hill and around a couple bends here. Go ahead and get our parking brake off. One thing I will have to remember is the brakes are very sensitive in this aircraft, very easy to nose it over, so we won't try to avoid that, because that's hard on propellers and engines. Got stuck in the mud. There we go. So before we take off too, I'll also try to lean for best power. I don't think that's actually simulated on this aircraft, but for the sake of realism, we'll go ahead and do that. We've only got half a tank of fuel, so we're fairly light. And it's just us in the aircraft, so it should be fairly easy to get off the ground, but like I said, the Stearman is not exactly known for its short takeoff and landing ability. So it's going to be a challenge today. You may have noticed that we're in a very nice Varney Airlines paint job here. It's kind of a fictional paint job because Varney Airlines did not actually use the Model 75 Stearman. They did use the M2 Speedmail, which is a little bit bigger version. It's got a little more power. It's over 500 horsepower engine. But this is as close as we can get to that. And I like the Varney Airlines paint job. It's a very pleasing paint job, I think. And a fun fact, Varney Airlines actually ran some of the first airmail routes out in this area, flying out of Washington, and eventually was bought out by United Airlines. Okay. Let's go ahead and go get some power in this thing and see if we can lean it out. So we're on the brakes. That's full throttle. I'll pull back the mixture just a little bit. There's an RPM drop, so we'll enrich it up just a little bit. That should theoretically be best power. Here we go. There's tail coming up. Got 60. Ease back on the stick. And she's off. Rolling just a little bit of trim here. See if we can climb over this hill. Ooh, we're not going to make it. Let's turn. Not known for her climbing ability either. We're a bit underpowered to be flying the mountains here. One tip if you're flying in these mountainous areas in a VFR situation, if you can see the terrain rising behind the hill that you're pointed at, you're going to make it over the top of it. If you do not see the terrain rising, you are going to smack right into that hill. So something to keep in mind when you're flying in these challenging environments. Weather's not too bad today, fortunately, but if you're flying in this area, it can get pretty hairy with the wind coming down the canyon there, and it can really toss you about, but today's not too bad. I'm going to climb up just a little bit higher. I'm going to stay below the tops of these hills, though, because we're going to be coming up to Lower Loon shortly. Not a very far flight. I'm going to go ahead and level out right about here. Like I said, Lower Loon is one of my favorite testing grounds for an airplane, to try to test the airplane's skills as well as my own skills. And we're going to really be putting them to the test today in this airplane. Gain a little speed, we'll pull the power back just a little bit. There we go. Nice. And it is, Lower Loon is a one-way in, one-way out strip. So there is no go-around. You probably could theoretically do a go-around, but you'd be stuck in a valley on the other side. Alright, it should be coming up on Lower Loon here. Yep, you can see it right there. There's our runway. So I'm going to fly past it here, and then we'll do the 360 and come in and land. Remember, one way in, one way out, so we got to make this stick the first time. Let's see what we can do. Get around this corner here. the valley does open up past it here. I'll show you. So just over this hill here, I like to go past that a little bit and turn around here, and then we'll be able to come back into it. As you can see, the runway there. Just a little dirt strip in the middle of Idaho. I believe it's 1,200 feet long, I think, somewhere around there. So pretty short. I'll go ahead and pull power back just a little bit. Just kind of start slowing ourselves down. Trim up a little bit here too. Make up for that loss of power. You see how the valleys now, it's kind of widened out here a little bit, so it's a tight turn, but we'll make it happen. Gonna hug this wall a little bit here. And I'll make a left-hand turn. There we go. Pretty steep turn, but make it happen. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pull power back 1500. There's our descent started. It's kind of almost like a dogleg approach into here. You see our runway, we're offset a little bit, but we'll straighten it out right when we need to. Pull all our power out here. And trim up a little bit more because we're going too fast. There we go. Sit about 80. Add a little bit more power in. A little more power. Okay, looking okay, looking okay. Straighten ourselves up, pull power out. A little hard, brakes. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. It did make it that time. So I guess the answer to that question, will it STOL, or does it STOL? No. No, it does not. Yeah, we're going to have to call for search and rescue, I think. So I hope you enjoyed that little adventure, if you could call it that. We ruined a perfectly good airplane for some entertainment, but I suppose that's happened before. So next time we'll do something a little different. If you want to see something, some historical aircraft in a challenging airport, let me know in the comments what kind of airplane, where you want to see it at, and I might be able to accommodate that. But as I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.